In this video, I'll not only tell you how to lose weight for the long term, sustainably, and reverse chronic metabolic diseases like prediabetes and fatty liver, but also what mistakes you might have made in the past and why this method is the most scientifically backed and guaranteed method to lose weight sustainably and reverse metabolic disease. If you are middle-aged like me, between the age of 30 and 50, have recently been diagnosed with a metabolic condition, this could be prediabetes, fatty liver, polycystic ovarian syndrome, prehypertension, or chronic systemic inflammation, and you have an increased waist circumference, this video is the right video for you. I'll explain to you why my method is the correct way of losing weight sustainably and reversing metabolic diseases without having to fall victim to fad diets and excessive restrictions. Imagine waking up in the morning and not having to worry about your health, knowing that all your parameters are moving in the right direction, stepping on the scales and seeing an ideal body fat percentage, going to the gym and feeling strong, playing sports with vigor and energy. That is all possible. All you need is the correct approach, the correct guidance, and that's what you can get here. But what are the common mistakes I see people make? They fall victim to these fad diets. And the proponents of these fad diets don't have any qualification to advise you. That's why they're so inaccurate. I went into medical school in 1996, completed my training in family medicine from England in 2007. I've been a full-time family physician since. During COVID, I also did a certification course in nutrition at Harvard. In contrast, the proponents of most of these fad diets have no education in nutrition at all. And many of them have never even seen a real patient. Let's go through some of these. The keto diet, a low-carb, high-fat diet. There are some benefits. You will lose water weight really fast. The scales will start looking better. Your sugars will come down in the short term. But eventually you'll plateau. And why is that? Because extremely low-carb diet will also be low in fiber. And fiber is essential for longevity, to reduce cholesterol, to reduce sugar, reduce risk of colon cancer. And so you are trading long-term detriment for short-term gain. Carnivore diet, a high meat, high protein diet. Sure, bodybuilders might feel good on this, but again, if not getting your fruits and vegetables, you'll be low in vitamins, in minerals, in fiber, in anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, anti-cancer agents. So again, you're trading long-term detriment for short-term gain. The vegan diet. I have a lot of respect for the vegan diet. It's been created for good, noble reasons, for the planet, for animal rights. But it's not a healthy diet unless it is significantly supplemented. It's low in protein. Unless you're having tofu and seitan with every meal, it's very difficult to hit your protein targets to build muscle. It's low in omega-3. It's low in vitamin B12. It's often low in iron as well. The paleo diet makes a lot of sense. Try to eat more in line with your genetics, with evolution. But not all processed food is bad. Processing of food can be good and bad both. If processing has been done to add lots of refined sugar and saturated fats and make the food hyper-palatable and addictive, then it's a bad form of processing. Equally, if you're not able to have 0% unflavored Greek yogurt because it's processed, if you're not able to have a protein bar after your workout, then you're putting gains away. That's also a strict, rigid, overly restrictive diet. All these forms of diets have some benefits, but a lot of downsides. Intermittent fasting is also a kind of diet pattern. Of course, there are benefits. Improving insulin sensitivity, gaining more control over hunger, and self-discipline is a benefit of fasting. But some people use it like a cheat code to eat whatever they like during the eating window. And while a fast can detox many of the foods that you shouldn't be eating, that isn't optimum. Exercise, cardio, healthy eating is also important. So while fasting would take you somewhere there, it's not the full story. During COVID, I gained quite a lot of weight. I was actually about 8 kilograms or 15 pounds heavier than I am right now. And some of my blood parameters, particularly my average sugar, started creeping towards prediabetes. That really worried me because I knew that at my age, in the mid-40s, my father was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And I know that he really had to look after his health. In fact, he took early retirement to look after his health. And touch wood, he's doing really well right now. But that wasn't the case for many of my other family members. One of my uncles on my father's side died of heart attack at age 55. One of my uncles on my mother's side had a triple heart bypass at age 55 as well. And so I knew that if I didn't look after my health, my genetics were not the best. I would pay the price of not looking after my health. And it's strange how when a physician is faced with a health issue, his or her approach changes. For my whole working career, I'd been prescribing medication to my clients. But when it came upon me, I wanted to get to the root of the problem. I wanted to do the best I could to prevent the progression of this problem and to reverse it. And this was also a catalyst for me to educate myself on nutrition and also attend a certification in nutrition at Harvard. But us physicians are not easily satisfied by just helping ourselves and just our clients. Our medical practice, me and my wife, has around 4,000 patients, but I'm not satisfied to just share that information with them. That's why I created my social media profile. I have over 20,000 followers over various social media handles. But I also want to have the opportunity to guide people one-on-one, which is why I have founded healthgroupcoaching.com, a website through which I conduct group coaching sessions on Zoom video and coach clients on how to lose weight sustainably and reverse metabolic disease. I realized that if we want to compete with medication, it's not good enough to just do one or two random things. Cut out the sugar, cut out the fats, do fasting. Multiple things need to be done. You need to lose belly fat, gain muscle mass, improve insulin sensitivity, optimize the gut microbiome, and reduce chronic systemic inflammation. And this requires a program where step by step we do all of these things, and it requires patience, requires time. Additionally, a common problem all weight loss programs suffer from is metabolic adaptation. This is the slowing down of metabolism, which occurs because of chronic calorie restriction. It's like your body has gone into low power mode. Our body sees calories like we see household income. If money coming in is chronically low, you start spending less. Clients who go into chronic restrictive diets and have chronic calorie restriction, their bodies go into a starvation mode. Skin gets dry, they get constipated, they start losing their hair. Women might stop having periods, fertility is impacted. It's because body is saving its resources. It's diverting energy away from non-essential functions. And the weight plateaus. Their previous deficit turns into a new maintenance. Even despite eating like a bird, they can't lose weight. This is a challenge which I confronted head on. I was determined to not let this happen. And so I have devised various techniques on my program, including calorie cycling, resistance training, optimizing the gut microbiome, thermic effect of food, etc., to ensure that your metabolism stays revving and you don't end up tanking your metabolism. But equally, I'm not a magician. I don't promise that every single person will be able to reverse their metabolic disease. We all are fighting against a certain genetic tide. For some of us, that tide is stronger, and for some of us, it's not as strong. We also have our own set of principles, values that we live by. We have a certain upbringing, a certain environment, a certain group of friends, a certain intellectual ability, and also a certain level of motivation. You can go on my website and see dozens of testimonials of people who have had really good results. But equally, there have also been clients who did not have such good results. And that's because perhaps they lacked the motivation, they lacked the support, encouragement, perhaps their work schedule was too busy. What I'm trying to achieve on this program is that not having the knowledge should not be the limiting factor. If you go on my website, healthgroupcoaching.com, you'll find a client discovery form. I would urge you to fill up that client discovery form. It'll go through a checklist to make sure you are a good fit for the program. Spaces are limited because I do work full-time as a family doctor. Clients are expected to only attend one session per week, but capacity is limited. And so it's really important that you are a good fit for the program. I will put links for my website, healthgroupcoaching.com, and the client discovery form in description and in bio. And if you're interested in transforming your health, in losing belly fat for good and reversing metabolic conditions, then I look forward to seeing you on the program.